Eating good, Thai food, my ties, mahi, bow tie, pasta.
Yeah, this really the kid right here. I like all that good soulful. This the Bake Show, man. We got royalty in the building, and he here. So without no further ado, because I couldn't. I tried to do the Ron Baker page, and I'm just gonna holler at my graphic art guy, VEC. I'ma holler at them, and they found a way that I can convert those over. So I'm just gonna have to live from here right now. You know what I'm saying? So we found out how to get straight to there. But in the building, we have he's not top 100 mentionable no more. And this is what I'm saying, man, because I understand royalty, and I understand history, and I understand respect. So what I was trying to do was bring him and another top 100 in at the same time, and we kind of going in airs. As you can see, we not sporadically, you know what I'm saying, doing that. We're not sporadically just throwing people in there, unless I come across a Dwight Carter, a Gene Davis, a Chris Davis, who was at Firestone and led the city in scoring. But we got T Park. Thank you, brother, for coming, man.
Man, it's an honor to be on the show with you guys, man. This is a great thing that you have. This to be mentioned with all these great City Series players, man. I grew up watching before me. Yeah, this is a great idea on your part, and good for our city, man.
Thank you.
Really nice.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. And we're going to get to how we got to T Park. We're going to get to how we got to T Park because it's a funny story. First of all, they talked a lot about your brother, and we're going to, and also I wanted you and your brother on the show at the same time, but you know, life happens. He got to do what he got to do, but he said he's going to come. And they was like, Demetrius Parker, and Coach Gill said, T Park's older brother. And I'm like, okay, I don't, you know, nobody has said nothing. So I'm like, all right. And then your wife, love her to death, man. Hey, she was giving mean faces. And I'm like, man, who is this? And I just kept, who is? I'm like, is this his sister or is his wife? And then I'm like, okay, boom. So she said, T Parks wanted me to give you a friend request because he's not on Facebook. And I said, wow.
Right.
I said, wow, T Park. I'm like, yes. Yeah. So then we start talking, we start rapping, and that's how it happened. Right. That's how. And we're going to talk about you, man. And who did you look up to?
Man, first of all, I started at a young age because of my brother, Demetrius played.
Right.
And he was awesome. I looked up to him, man. He taught me the game, showed me everything about the game. He was 2-time City Series leading scorer.
Wow.
His junior and senior year. So I went to watch him. So I know a lot of history about the ball. And when I first seen him play, I fell in love. I mean, he was dunking on people, shooting three. They didn't even have 3-point back then.
He shot them for twos.
He was shooting them for twos. And just one of the best players I've ever seen, along with Jimmy Gooden, Jerome Lane. Right. He's just right up there with them. And to be able to watch all those guys, that's what inspired me to play.
Right.
And from then I just fell in love with the game of basketball.
When did you? Because when we talked about your 3-point. You're a marksman. You're a marksman. And when did you know? When did you really knew that you had the stroke? Like you had it. When did you know? Like, okay, this is. It don't matter what nobody. If you give me too much room, you're gone.
It was this. I think when I got to high school, I really wanted to work on my shot because to add something else. We all played at Roswell Kent. We were very athletic. Me, Ashburn, a lot of us guys played at Roswell Kent. We were very athletic, but we hadn't really created our game yet until we got to high school.
Right.
Like I say, we pressed you a lot. We was real athletic, got out, made layups. Right. That summer going into my 9th grade year, I really worked really hard on my game because it was time for high school.
Right.
And you got to take it to another level because I had seen Scott Gooden, Quentin Brooks the year before I was getting to high school, And I seen what they was doing, going down the state and everything. And that was always a big goal.
Right.
It was to get down the state. You got to be able to make shots and play defense and play well. So, man, it was just I started working on my game, and my brother built a hoop in the backyard at the house, and I just work on my stroke all the time, man.
So your stroke came from the backyard.
The backyard.
That's it, man. That is crazy, man. Because we all know the stroke, man. We all know and we all love the stroke. And we're going to go, and I don't want to bounce around too much. I want to kind of stay on what I want to know. Just being as a fan of T Park. I have you here now, bro. Oh. I have you here, and your wife said it was cool. So we all good. Cool. Hey, man, I want to talk about what is it that made you, and we're going to, of all schools to transfer to, you went to Barberton High School. Mm-hmm. What made, and you played with Latrell Jackson. Mm-hmm. They had another cat.
Nate Vaughn.
Mm-hmm. What made you, because not only you transferred to Barberton, mm-hmm. Agent Crawford transferred to Barberton, and the Tarver transferred to Barberton.
When they transferred to Barberton, they had so much tradition there, just as well as Garfield. It was the tradition you had, when you talk about basketball in Summit County, even in Ohio, Barberton's going to come up. They had, the Bodner twins, Alvin Jack Robinson, the Robinson brothers, his brothers, Latrell Jackson, all those guys. Gerald Hargrove was my cousin. He played guard for him. Rest in peace to him. He was one of the best guards they ever had there, and it was just the tradition, right? Like it's nothing like it. So I thought, and then my family, the Hargroves, had lived out there already, so I ended up moving out there, and man, they put me in a practice, and they knew I was coming from the city. They had heard about me, right? And gave me a shot, and then you do what you do when you get a shot. You do what you do when you get a shot. You ride the wave. You ride the wave. Now, because I have a story about that also, and we talked about it, and I said we're going to save it for the show. But, like I said, I'm a fan. And just to go back on the tradition of Barberton. And again, this is we're talking City Series ball, no doubt. But we are talking about Akron hoops, Akron area hoops. And we're going to get into that because we have some cats that got something to say about this list and why cats. We're going to get off into that. But I was there last night, and I also was in the archives. And that trophy case in Barberton is ridiculous, man. It's incredible. It is ridiculous, man. Like, one of the best I've seen. And when you talk about a lineage and history, they right up there. When I went down there to the archives, bro, it's Barberton everywhere. It's Barberton everywhere. And I just wanted to know because, we talking about 4 great players that went from Akron to any other, they could have went to any other school, I would imagine. Right. And you go to Barberton. Okay, now, the City Series, because that was I'm sorry. Let's get back to the story because, like I said, you don't know this because you was in the locker room. Okay. Sectional at Copley. Okay. You played for Barberton. Yes. Y'all shot so good. In the middle of the game, they had to exchange the nets because the nets were so warped that when you shot the ball, it wrapped around the. There's only one other time I seen do that, Tony Barshop, and when you were shooting the ball, it was unreal. And I think me and Hampton went to that game, and you were so hyped. I mean, you could see the intensity. Now, who was the point guard on that team? The Barberton team?
Yeah,
I was.
You was the point.
Yes, that year. Yeah.
Speaking of point guards, Aspire.
Oh, man. Wow. Deuce, tremendous, man. One of the best on-the-ball defender that I ever seen. Yes. I mean, he could guard anyone straight up. He could pick you and then just go lay the ball right up, man. He was very crafty, very skilled. Very skilled. Yeah. Very skilled. Great. Definitely one of the best guards that ever come out of City Series.
Easy.
Definitely.
Easy.
I got to shout out my partner too. Our backcourt mate, Tony Williams, and Curtis Williams also.
Curtis Williams.
He's definitely top 100. His two years at Garfield, he averaged 20 and 10. And we won the city championship in '94. So
Curtis Williams.
Curtis Williams.
I ain't know that. Curtis Williams, top 100 mentionable.
Definitely.
Top 100 mentionable, man. Hey, I'm sorry, Curtis. You did inbox me. And that's what I like about it. And that's what, hey, come for me. If you gonna come for me, come for me. But I didn't know that. But we did know about Tony Williams.
Right.
We do know about him.
There was a lot of Williams on that team, but they all were putting up numbers. Like I say, Curtis averaged 20 and 10 for 2 years. City champion his senior year. Great leader. Strong. Very
strong.
A lot of guys know about Curtis. He gave a lot of guys the business.
Yeah, he did. He did.
A lot of guys the business.
And we're regressing a little bit, but man, you know, when I talk to royalty, I gotta be quiet and I gotta ask what I want to know. I gotta ask what the people want to know, man, because nobody get a chance to see you guys, or they probably see you, and that's just. I got a story to tell about Tony Williams, the old Urban League. Again, I'm coming into my, again, I'm a late bloomer per se. I really got my game got real stronger when I graduated. I'm down at the Urban League. I'm smelling myself. It's a guy over in the corner. He take off his jogging. He don't say nothing. He take off his jogging pants. And he commits to give me, I want to say, 8 out of the 12. Shooting NBA threes. This is when the old Urban League had the NBA three. Yeah. He was one of the first ones, him and Adrian Stockman, shoot that thing from right there. Yeah. So shout out to Tony Williams, man. You know, you taught me a lesson. Never underestimate your opponent. Unless you know you just got him. So your last year, so was it your senior year you went to Barberton or your junior year?
My junior year.
Junior. So coming back.
Came back home.
Came back home. You hear that? You come back home and it's you and Deuce.
Deuce, yeah. And Mr. Hall. He was a sophomore.
Money Mine.
Yeah.
And we're going to get to Money Mine because somebody keeps saying he only had one move.
No, we'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to that. I don't know why he keeps saying it, but every time somebody say something crazy, I just be wanting to just like, come on, man, come on, like for real, come on. We looking through the archives, but we'll get there. So, what was the difference from playing at Barberton to Garfield? What was the major difference that you saw?
Barberton really, when I went there, I really learned fundamentals. Like, cause us playing in the city, it's just everything is up tempo.
Right.
Up tempo. We pressing, running and jumping.
Yeah.
When I got there, that gave me a chance to get my fundamentals to where I needed them to be.
Right.
And that was really the big great competition every night. I played against the Stowe teams with
Andy Norman. Speak on it.
Nate Mears. Shooters.
Great shooters.
Cargo Falls, Sip Tack, great guards. John Smith from Kent Roosevelt, a lot of great players.
Yeah.
Man. So it gave me. I'm glad I did that really because it gave me an element to reach out and go play against different competitions. So it was great.
You played against Andy at Barberton. You played against Andy Norman. Did y'all beat him?
No, we lost by 1. They tipped a shot in at the buzzer on us.
Oh wow! You know who did beat them? Joe Board and Tony Barcher.
Beat them bad.
They was like 6th in the state.
Beat them bad.
Beat up in Ellet. Yeah, I was set up in the Raptors. Bad. Oh, it was sold out. Yeah. So you coming back, you noticed the fundamental. How was Deuce then? Because that was his senior year also, correct?
No, we were in the same class. He was a junior also. They lost the city championship game to Tony Barcher and Ellet and Joe Board. And Tony made a layup. At the buzzer. Great
94, 95. Yes.
Tony Williams had 30.
Aaron had 30.
Yeah, Deuce had close to 30. I mean, it was a great game, man. It was one of the best City Series championship games
ever.
And then, big shout outs to Joe Board and all those guys.
Snow.
Pooney Board and all them.
Pooney, yeah.
But, I was in mixed emotions because I was at Barberton that year. And I would have played in that championship game with Deuce, with Tony Williams, with Deion Bussey and those guys for Garfield. And it might have been a different outcome. Right. Because, I know I would have contributed my part.
Yes. And
so I know it might have been, but big shout outs to them. Great players. Elmer Brown.
Great
era of basketball. Great all era. Those guys.
Chris Dennis told me We asked him, and he covered it for the Plain Dealer. He covered it from the Plain Dealer, man. And from the 80s, from 1980 to 2003, honoring LeBron James, 23 years, honoring LeBron James. What was the toughest era? And he said he an 80s baby. He said from 95, 96 to 03.
Yeah. I agree. That whole 90s, because I came to high school 92, 93 as a freshman at Garfield.
Okay.
And me and Ashburn, we played with Curtis Williams and Tion Wilson as freshmen.
Right.
And man, it was battles every night. Those Central Howard teams with Osby, Javon Carter.
Javon Carter, yes.
Cameron Mack. Fritz Ward. Then you got the Firestone team.
Fitchward Reed.
Yeah, with Scott Gooden.
Yeah.
You had David Ruffin. Andre Smith. I mean, those were battles.
Yes.
Bukto, Elmer Brown, Ricky Fletcher.
Yes.
I mean, every night you like, damn, we got to go play. You got to go play Ellen. Damn, we got to go play Joe Board and Kevin Twitty.
Yeah.
I mean,
and I call
the list goes on, man. That's why if you could play in that era, you play anywhere.
You can play anywhere.
It was players you had to play against every night.
And I caught the last look. And you know who respected D'Angelo Jones?
He's definitely, getting into that. Well, we'll get into that in 1 second. But big shout outs to him because he upsetted me and Ashburn, our senior, when he was at Elliott. He made like 4 threes as a freshman to upset.
Whoa! Alert! I didn't know that.
Yeah, big shout out to D-Lo, man. He was a great player.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, we talk about. I ain't know that.
We couldn't get him back that year until we seen him down in Firestone Park when we got him.
Yeah, Firestone Park. That's what you got to come through. And I told him you got to come through. Certain people. You know where it was at with certain parks. Oh, yeah. Firestone Park, it was you and the Ashburns.
Morgan. Prentice Park.
I was down there. Perkins Pool.
Of course.
Okay, going to the Perkins Pool.
Yeah.
Because we're going to hop around. King of the court. 3-point contest. Sunday.
Yeah, big day.
You played it. I mean, you shot in that thing.
Yes,
Could you
3 years in a row.
3 years in a row. You only shot 3 years in a row.
Yes.
Okay, and for those 3 years, what did you do? Because let's tell them.
Well, we competed. It was great competition, great shooters.
True.
96, I think I won it. Came back against a great shooter, Robert Dydell. He was great.
Rob Dydell, top 100.
Yeah.
Top 100 all time.
Me and him won the championship, and I won the championship. And then the next year, me and Tony Baldrick shot. The crazy part about that story, we flipped a coin. He won the coin toss. He deferred and had me shoot first. So I thought I caught myself putting the pressure on him. I set a new record. It was 28 out of 30. And then he come back and break the record and made 29 out of 30 and became the champion. So I was like, I was kind of up in the air. The next year I was going to do it for the 98 year. And I was like, well, what the hell? It's fun.
Right.
So I went on ahead and participated in it again and ended up winning it in 98.
Man, that's great. People don't see, and there's another reason for the show is you wouldn't know about Tony B, man. He's just folklore because you don't see him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And everybody talk about the cast, but they don't know about T Park, man. So we're going to get back to this high school thing. Accolades in high school. First team All City. What year?
95, 96 season.
That was junior year or senior year? Senior year. Any All-State?
Honorable mention all Northeastern Ohio. Second team all district. Second team all Summit County.
Yes. And the bar was set high because I can't honestly say I've been around high school basketball. I ref in it.
Yeah. And
at Garfield, there's not another shooting guard, man, that I've seen. To come through there, man. And we're talking, you've been graduated how long?
Oh, no, like 20-some
years, man. Yeah. 20-some years.
21 years.
21 years. Who was the toughest guy because you came in that, like you said, Kevin Twitty and Joe Board. Mm-hmm. Who was the toughest guy you had to go against in that era?
Shit, man. You that's a tough one, man. Because Every night?
Yeah.
Every night you had to hold your own. You go to Bookville, you got Elmer Brown, Ricky Fletcher, David Miller, Doyle Robbins. We played against the best.
Yeah.
Central Howard, you got Javon Carter, Osby, Mr. Osby, the Wizard of Oz.
The Wizard of Oz.
Cameron Mack, we beat them for the championship game in '94, one of the best championship games of all time.
Right.
Sold out Firestone.
Wow, that's when the games, the old Firestone.
The old Firestone. Man, it was.
So one on one, and they called a play for you against an ex team, and you like, damn, I know. They called the play for me. I gotta get this bucket, but this guy is in front of me.
Well, with me and our mentality that we had growing up, because we played so much basketball. The stage was never too big. So you wanted the ball against whoever it was and make a big shot, because in our league it was so competitive and so many great players. You played against them at the pool. So when you see them in the summer,
speak on it.
When you see them in the summer, you've already played against them. So you everybody had an advantage because everybody played against each other. And the damnest thing about it, if we got a shot off, somebody got the last second shot for either one of the teams, you earned it. You earned it.
And D'Angelo, like I said, he respected. And he said he caught a little bit of it too. He said, man, every night, man, it was somebody. And I know because I was in the middle of it. Every night it was, at one point in time, like it was Tony Williams, Aaron, then it was Joe Board, Tony Bartram, and then Charlie Sykes and the other cat was over at East. Right. And then Adrian Crawford, Daryl Cox, and Antoine Carter was over here. And the list gone at Bookville, David Miller, who we gonna get off into David Miller. It was just crazy.
Miller, tough player. We ended up getting knocked out our senior year. We got knocked off by Firestone by 1 point for the playoff. Because it's when you had the 14 playoff.
14 playoff. We
got knocked off. We was supposed to have a rematch with Bookville. They beat us by 1. Kind of bad officiating, but you don't get off into that. We got off to a slow start.
Right.
So, you can't, big shout outs to Firestone. They were a good team. James Johnson. He was a really good player.
Yeah, solid.
City championship game we watched because, we had to be there for the all-city thing.
Right.
So we watched, and, man, Bookville with that team, they were a good team. We beat them. We split with them that year.
Right.
Great game, sold out every night.
Yes.
Great games. That's City Series. You smell the popcorn.
Yeah.
And you're ready to go out and put in work.
Yeah.
Big shout outs to D Miller. He had 30 points that game.
Man. Yeah. And we're going to get off into D Miller, man. We're going to get off into D Miller. T Park. Coaching. You coached a little bit.
Coached at Garfield.
You know what? This is what we're going to do, man, because I got you here for a little bit more, a little longer, and we're going to go to a little break, man. Cool. And I got him here, man. I don't know if it's viewers over at the Bake Show page or not, but it's 12:24. And we're going to come back at like 12:40, man, 12:45. I got one of the best top 100 of all time. He's in. Jose. Do you know him? He's in. I do. He's in.